So we're big BYU fans on this channel, rightfully so. They've been so fun to watch this year and watch the progression since Kevin Young took over from Mark Pope. I love this basketball team. Yesterday, there was a conversation about BYU basketball that made its way to the top of my timeline. It went pretty viral with both BYU fans appreciating it and then other fans of other fan bases sort of clowning the idea of it. You don't know what's going on here, just to set the tone for everybody watching this. You have not seen this, and I told you I didn't want you to see it until I unveiled it to you. So that's where we're at. There's an account called Joe Wheat 27, just Joe Wheat on Twitter, who apparently is 1/3 of the Hype Train Pod, which I believe is a BYU podcast. So shout out to the Hype Train Pod, shout out to Joe Wheat. Certainly don't mean to come after Joe Wheat for this whatsoever, but he's the source of this. He tweeted this 2 days ago. He said, if you are looking for a team that embodies what used to be right about college athletics, it's BYU. 8 of BYU's 11 rotational pieces started their careers at BYU, including Richie, Dallin, and Foose, who have built this program from fifth in the WCC to the Sweet 16. Below that, he responded to his own tweet and said, this team didn't poach the best players or coaches from the little guy. They didn't recruit a bunch of transfers just looking for a bag. They built this thing through old-fashioned recruiting, scouting, and retention, which is why this team freaking rules. That was the initial tweet. This went hella viral for obvious reasons, I think. Purdue fans heard this. And Purdue fans were like, you didn't buy players because you tampered away Cannon Catchings from us in the summer. That ain't player retention. That ain't development. That's dropping a bag and stealing a player. So just a wild thought. But the idea that BYU basketball is the school that embodies what used to be right about college sports. Do you find that ridiculous, or do you think he's onto something?
I find it ridiculous. I mean, you have AJ DeBance on the way. A guy that just like literally was like, I just want to make money. You have Yegor Demon, who's at BYU, presumably for financial reasons as well. Cannon Catchings, much like DeBance, at BYU for financial reasons. You have a head coach bragging about how much money you have to spend in treating this like I think the way he described it is we're going to treat it like a pro organization. Which, by the way, I have no issue with any of this. Like, I love everything that BYU's doing. It's more so the spin on it that we're the traditional college athletic program. That's what your own program doesn't want to be. So you're actually like ruining everything they're trying to build. They want to be treated like a pro organization. They want to be someone that like operates on a professional level. Operating on a professional level means turnover. It means and some financial aspect, right? I love this team. Card and I did a draft of the best players in college basketball, or left in the Sweet 16 where we took 6 players. I took Trevin Knell. I shoot him. Shoot him. I love this team. I love everything about this team. I have them making the Elite Eight. I said, so, like, I don't think they beat Duke, but like if anyone has a shot at Duke, I think BYU has one of the best chances to beat Duke left in the tournament. But this team is not your traditional college athletics team. AJ DeBanza doesn't go to BYU if they're everything that was in this original tweet either. And then last thing, Purdue fans ain't the ones. I'm just gonna be honest. That ain't the fan base to mess with.
Hey, I don't think this account or any BYU fans were trying to mess with Purdue, but I think Purdue fans did the Purdue thing and the appropriate thing here of just being like, y'all are trying to brag about what we actually do after stealing players from us, right? Because the reality is, if there is one team in the Sweet 16 that does embody quote unquote old fashioned how to do this, it's Purdue. And then it's probably Michigan State. And then it's everybody else. But Purdue is the only school that has their top 8 from guys that started their careers at Purdue. They're the only school that is not aggressively using the transfer portal. I don't believe there is a transfer in the rotation on this Purdue team. It's all high school guys. So, there's levels to this. Now, stepping back broadly, to not just clown BYU for thinking this, because I love so much about this BYU program, but stepping back broadly, I don't understand why anyone wants to brag about this anyway. I just don't understand, like, the holier than thou like we're what's right and you're not mindset to this. Like I make fun of Purdue when they do that, and they do that all the time. I make fun of Michigan State when they've done it, when Izzo does it. I make fun of Michigan football fans when they do it. It's just the whole thing is dumb. The landscape has changed. Operating like you are a school that does things in the 90s still is not a good thing. And it's not accurate to how BYU has built this. But what this really is, Dion, this is just another reminder as people who are, I think, two of the loudest appreciators of BYU basketball right now. This is BYU fans coming to us for help, Dion. BYU
Okay.
fans need our consult services yet again, and you are the number one consultant under Sleepers Media.
Yeah, we just got to buy into what we're doing, BYU fans. Coach let us know. Coach Young. We don't have to call him Kevin anymore. That's Coach Young. And then our best player. We have the highest paid basketball player in the history of college basketball on his way in. At least reported numbers, right? We don't need to brag about this stuff. This money bag cougs. Like we toss the bags out. Your best player wants to go to the portal. Oh, Purdue fans, these Braden Smith rumors, just know we'll double what you can get, Braden. We'll double it. We don't want to do the that thing. We want to spend more than you spend, and the teams that spend the most typically win in sports: baseball, football, basketball. So it doesn't matter what sport you play. If you spend money, you get rewards. And by the way, we have our rewards already. Sweet 16 in Kevin Young's first season.
Yeah. Yeah, I would flip this. You're saying BYU embodies what used to be right. No, and you shouldn't want that anyway. BYU embodies what is right. Because guess what? Players making money is a good thing. It has never made sense that a college student that is a great flute player could join an orchestra and get paid for it, but a great basketball talent couldn't. It doesn't make any sense. That's not how the world works. And I just, it bothers me when there are programs that don't embrace that. But it bothers me doubly so when programs that are operating like they embrace it, their fans don't understand that. And I just want to pivot. You shouldn't be bragging about the old thing. Even if you were what you're saying you are, even if it was accurate, you shouldn't be bragging about that. It's cool to pay basketball players what they're deserved. And BYU's doing that. BYU's going to continue nailing transfers. If you want to consider the catchings things a tamper, we'll see how much BYU tampers with players in the future. But I mean, that was definitely one where conversations were happening behind Purdue's back that ultimately led to him leaving based on relationships that had happened. And I'm sitting here saying there's nothing wrong with it. That's the current day and age. You better be ready for it. BYU, more than any program in the sport, in the Sweet 16 this year, embodies what is right about basketball currently, Dion.
What's the when AJ DeBanza committed, they posted a video and at the end it had a word. What was the word? I don't remember what it was.
Ooh, they used to do the it's not hypothetical thing, and then
Yeah,
they did that Provo is a big thing, but
yes.
I don't remember what the word was.
It's not hypothetical doesn't happen if you're not spending money. The Provo doesn't happen if you're not spending money. They're trying to build an organization that is professional. Within professional sports comes spending money. The old stuff doesn't work very well anymore. It does for some people. Tom Izzo, shout out Izzo. But that's not the route Kevin Young's trying to go. Follow coach, follow the direction of this program. He's giving you no reason not to trust him. Just rock with what he's doing. And by the
Yeah.
way, AJ DeBanza really ain't going to BYU if it ain't about the money. Like, let's just be honest.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.